Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader, and today we are doing another original book tag. In September I done the school book tag, which I created myself. If you haven't checked that out yet, I'll link it down below, and I had so much fun doing it and seeing everyone's responses, I just had to create another one. I decided to create the Bangles book tag because the Bangles are definitely my favourite girl group of all time and possibly my favourite group of all time. I absolutely love their music. They always get me in such a good mood, but I feel like it's integral as well and emotional and not just happy, pumpy, but has a meaning behind it, and I really enjoy it. And I don't feel like there's really anything on this at the minute. There's a couple of music sort of book tags going about, but I want to do one specific to the Bangles, so I've took some of their favourite songs of mine and I've taken the title and then I've made a question up about books that you've read, sort of linking into the same topic. For my answers, I'm going to do all books that I've read in 2017 as it's coming up to the end of the year. I really wanted to reflect on the year and think about the books I've read this year, but you answer them however you want. If you want to do the tag, whether it's on a book blog or you want to do a video, or even just tell me down in the comments. I'll be tagging Alma Loves Books. Alma is great. If you haven't checked her out, I'll link her down below as well. And I'm going to tag Peter Likes Books because he just loves getting tagged in everything and I think he's awesome. Question 1. Eternal Flames. Which book do you think you'll never lose your passion for, whether that be positive or negative? I have chosen Fahrenheit 451, whether this was subliminal to me because of the flames on the cover, I don't know, but I absolutely loved this book with a passion. Like, I constantly just will be driving about and I'll like think about the characters and the meaning behind it. And I only read it for the first time this year, but I think I'm going to try and reread it again before the end of the year because I really want the message to sink in more. If you don't know, this is sort of a dystopian, and it's about a society where books are outlawed and all the books have to be burnt, and our main character is a fireman, but the role of firemen and women have changed, and it's actually their role to find contraband books and burn them rather than to put out fires. They start fires, and it's just a beautiful message about the importance of literature and sort of changes within our society in modern day. Manic Monday. What book really helped you zone out when life was manic? For this, I'm going to pick The Censor's Hand. This was a book that I got from NetGalley this year. It is fantasy. It's set in sort of a medieval style society that has magical elements to it. I don't want to wreck too much of the plot. This is a debut novel and it is the first in a series. I thought the writing was so immersive. Every time I opened the book up, I was just sucked right in. I was reading it at a difficult point during the year when my grandpa was dying, and every time I had a spare moment, I just opened the book and I just fell right back into the world. I loved the characters. I could have done with more backstory, and I'm really excited to see what the series brings. Walk Like an Egyptian. What book have you read that has taken you to a country or a place that you've never been before? And preferably for this one, I would like you to pick a place that you could be, like a place that exists and not a fictional place, if you know what I mean. And for me, I picked The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. I have never been to France. I have never been to Paris, although it is somewhere where I would eventually like to travel, maybe. And this book was so beautifully written. The descriptive language for me is probably up there in my top sort of 3 or 5 works that I have ever read. I thought that it was just written beyond beautifully. The story for me wasn't the standout, it was the writing, and I could not get enough of this book and I couldn't put it down. In Your Room. What book or series is your guilty pleasure? Now for me, I don't really have guilty pleasures when it comes to books, but something that I really enjoy, which I think most people would think was strange, was the Percy Jackson series. I flew through this series. I absolutely loved it. I would consider rereading it. I only read them at the end of last year, start of this year, so I wouldn't reread them all quite yet, but I would consider rereading it. I did try the Heroes of Olympus series and I didn't like it as much. I think the original was great and I'm a bit of a fangirl for Percy Jackson, I must say. Hero takes a fall. In which book do you wish the hero hadn't succeeded, or the book that you wish that the villain had succeeded? I guess it could be spun either way. And for me, this might be shocking to some of you, but I'm going to say Sherlock Holmes, and specifically the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. After it, Sherlock disappears and it's all over, and then because of popularity, he was brought back for another 2 books, and in my opinion, those 2 books are the worst 2 books, and I wish they had just left it with how it ended in the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, because I thought it would have been a perfectly good wrap up to the series and the arc and the storyline and everything else. Hazy Shade of Winter. What book gives you a really cozy, comfy, relaxed feel? And for me, I have chosen the Sally Lockhart series by Philip Pullman. It is 4 Victorian mystery novels. I read the first 2 this year and I was so glad I picked these up at a charity shop. I got all 4 for £1 and I just had to get them. I knew nothing about the series. I had never read any Philip Pullman before and I absolutely fell in love. Both Ruby and the Smoke and The Shadow in the North for me were both 5-star reads. The writing, again, is absolutely beautiful. The mysteries are good as well, and I love mysteries, especially in the Victorian era, but the writing was divine, is the only word that I can put on it. I have yet to read The Tin Princess or The Tiger in the Well, but I hope to get to them before the end of the year, and I'm thinking the closer the end of the year gets, and when I have some time to actually cozy down and snuggle up, these books will be absolutely fantastic. And my last question is following. What book do you think doesn't have a big enough following? What book do you feel like needs more exposure and more love here on BookTube? And for me, that would be Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim. This is in my top 3 books of all time. I absolutely love it. It is a children's book. I guess you would class it as middle grade. And it is basically about a society of smart rats that have been clinically tested on, and they have now got longer lives and super intelligence, and they create their own society away from humans. This book not only is well written, has developed characters, but it raises a lot of important issues in a really accessible way, but at the same time doesn't take away from the issue by making it seem like lesser. It talks about animal testing, what is human society, how we treat animals, what does family mean. It deals with so many issues which I feel like other children's books just don't tackle. I've never seen any other children's book tackle so many issues so well done than this book has, and I can't rant enough. If you ever seen the movie The Secret of Nim, which was an 80s cartoon that I was obsessed with as a child, this is the book that it was based on. It's quite close to the movie, but the book has more, obviously, backstory into the rats and how they got to where they are, and I absolutely love this book. I reread it nearly every year and I can't gush enough. It is fantastic. And that is it for the Bangles book tag. Let me know down below, have you read any of these books? Did you like them? If you decide to do this tag, please feel free to do it. If you do, link it below so I can check out all your responses. I would really love that. And if you've got a favourite Bangles song, let me know. I think that would be really fun as well. I hope you're all happy, I hope you're all healthy, and I'll hopefully see you in a next video. Goodbye.